Hello, everybody. Welcome to our AMA. We're going to give it a couple more minutes. We've got a couple people that are going to hop up on stage, and then we'll give it a minute for everybody to finish filling into the audience, and then we'll get started. Right. I believe that is everybody from our side that we are expecting today. So as a quick point of order, we got Hubert back, but also Fox is taking some well-deserved time off now. So we've traded Fox for Hubert for the week. But that's all right. We know we're excited to have Hubert back, and we're excited for Fox to walk away from his desk for the first time in like 3 months. So it's a good thing. But we are excited to be here for today's AMA as always, and we are going to start by getting some updates from the Dreamer.
Cool. Thanks, Bolon. Yeah, I'll go through some updates and some things we're gonna be highlighting in today's AMA. I think we do have a couple weeks of game-related or mechanics-related questions that we're all excited to hear from Hubert on. But first, just wanted to audibly celebrate 150,000 duels games played in the last 3 weeks. It's a big milestone. I think we had a tweet go out on that. Excited there, not only for the volume, but we have a lot of ideas for making duels enhanced, whether it's the rank system, the reward system, or the application, as well as kind of our first efforts to figure out kind of an esports-like direction. So that would be in the form of kind of bracketed style tournaments in terms of the current way of thinking about it. There are sponsors that are interested in participating. Those sponsors would potentially put up a pot for winners in addition to in-game tokens and NFTs being put up for winners. So it's a pretty big thing to plan for, and I think we're going to be interested in others' input and also be open to being flexible over time. So we don't have like a date that we're shooting for specifically, but we are wanting to make it fun and also take what we have that's 100% on-chain mini game and make it a little interesting by adding some like manual rules and things with it. So more to come on that, but really excited about the success and progress of duels. Excited to also be funneling in some of the new Gen Zero reward structure through duels and or the raffle system. So more to come on that as we get closer to the launch on Clayton with I don't want to say Serendale 2.0, I guess just relaunch of Serendale. Speaking of which, I think we'll hear from a few builders on the progress on Dark Summoning, the artist that was mentioned in the castle, and the as we get closer to relaunch as well. Got some juicy updates as it relates to either alpha dropping or some teasing on mechanics and music. So more to come there. Excited for that. We've mentioned Duel / S Duel launching with like the relaunch of Jeweler or Jeweler 2.0. That is coming in the works as well. But just a reminder, as we get closer to that, that Duel to X Duel pool is looking to be retired upon the launch of Jeweler 2.0. In terms of collaborations with Clayton and protocols, We've been really focused this last week anyway on DeFi related protocols over there. They have a lot of interest in their user base across these protocols, and it's a good opportunity since we're launching on mainnet rather than like a layer two that they would offer similar to a subnet. We don't have to look for things like price oracles and can look to collaborate with their DeFi protocols pretty quickly. So we're looking at optimizers, aggregators, also wallets. There's a few wallets that make up majority of the volume on Clayton. It would make a lot of sense to have those wallets integrated in with DeFi kingdoms. So if we are successful in these efforts, the goal would really be having large protocols accessible directly in like the front end or the game of DeFi Kingdom, so that the trading experience would not only be limited to our own pairs, but either in portfolio optimization services or DEX aggregator services, have that be more accessible right in game. And similarly, if we are included on all of their platforms, then anybody in the ecosystem that learns about DeFi Kingdoms that wants to participate in the launch or own some Duel or Jade, yay, we can say Jade now, it's much easier for them to do so. They're also agreeing to co-marketing efforts, which is huge when we're entering into a new ecosystem, to have support from some of the major protocols with the largest followings that are excited about DeFi and have been in the past. What better product than DeFi Kingdoms to come in and build on that interest, and also the natural interest in gaming, and hopefully increase the user base there and have a successful launch. So really excited about those. Sunbear and myself have been really focused. The Clayton guys have continued to prove as great partners that give good introductions and good follow-ups as well. Let's see. I think the only last piece before I hand it over to Beetle is we are revisiting lending both on DFK chain and Clayton. So early on, we had looked to collaborate with Banky. We've been quite limited on DFK chain, but there's so many benefits to have our own chain, but there's also some added work like running our own validators and like all of Magnus's work on fees and everything. However, we didn't have the benefit of like price feeds and other things that main chains already have integrated. So we're actually getting closer on DFK chain at a few solutions that would make it possible to move forward with collaborations with Banky. So that's still on the table. But there are new lenders as well, some in the Clayton ecosystem that we're pursuing options for. So more to come there. Those have been more recent discussions in the last couple of days, but wanted to note that we are revisiting those. Just a reminder that in highly volatile markets, any form of leverage is extra risky. And if you're somebody that is providing leverage through a lending service, there's even more focus to make sure that it's safe, that the risk management guidelines and assumptions and liquidation scenarios are very, very conservative. So in addition to just like trying to get people to work with us, when it comes to this stuff, we actually ask a lot of questions. It's not our protocol, and there will be a disclaimer that'll come up and say it's not ours and do your own research and this is financial advice and everything. However, we are just trying to add that additional layer of focus of risk management for any of these DeFi protocols that could introduce more risk that some of the player base may not be familiar with. So yeah, Bolon, back over to you on whoever you're sending it to next in line.
Awesome. Very much appreciated. I did want to take just a moment and plug, and I'm going to drop a link in the AMA Voiceless chat and the YouTube chat. We fired up another board on the talk.defykingdoms.com site about our duels tournaments. It has a post from me that kind of overviews our current thought process so that people can give feedback, make other suggestions. So we would love to hear from y'all on what you think about what we have planned so far, what you would like to see planned, and any changes that you think would be good to make. Help us launch it better by telling us up front what you would like to see. So, did drop that link in both places. So please feel free to hop on there and contribute. With that, let's go to Beetle Dude.
Well. Hello, everybody. Yeah. So let's see. Last week feels like it's been months already, but I think it was just last week that we launched our final Crystal Veil parody item. So we've got that all wrapped up, which is super exciting. And right away, we've been diving into some new things, which is also very exciting. I'm sure that's what everybody's looking forward to. So we do have on the plan for next week to be releasing Dark Summoning. Things are looking pretty good there. We're just finalizing some final contract things, but it's looking amazing. It's sounding amazing. We're gonna get a little bit of a sneak peek from Sam here in a little bit on the music, which is really cool. But yeah, it's just super exciting to be getting that out so quickly. And then we are also working on, don't have a date for it quite yet, but we're also working on the Seed Jeweler pretty heavily. I believe that contracts are, at least the initial contracts are in a good spot. We're working on the front end. And so just pushing on those as quickly as we can. And, we gave that reminder as soon as we're able to get that out, we'll probably be retiring the Jewel X Jewel pool. So just to keep an eye out there. And then on top of that, we're just working on Serendale 2.0 stuff, getting items pushed up on Clayton as quickly as we can. And I've seen some pretty cool new, well, not new, overhauled zones for that new launch, and some new hero classes, which is exciting. Fortunately, probably not going to be dropping any alpha on that side of things today, but we've got plenty of other alpha, I think, to keep everyone satiated until then. Yeah, that is those are the main things on the docket right now on the build side. Dreamer did mention the artist. We're kind of getting, I think, the build process in place for that, so we can make sure that builders, creators have what they need to get us the art and writing and all the fun stuff, so we can start implementing that as well. No date on that, but I think as soon as we can, as soon as we start getting some submissions there, we can start working on that as well. So yeah, just a bunch of exciting stuff. We're keeping on, plugging away. So that's it on my side of things. Back to you, Bola.
Awesome. Much appreciated on the update. Let's see. It looks like people are getting really excited for the alpha that Hubert's going to be dropping, so we'll keep delaying that a little bit longer. Sunbear, I know you've got some updates from us on the Kingdom Builders side.
I do. Maybe not quite as exciting as what Hubert's going to bring, but still pretty exciting. Since Beetle was just mentioning the artist, I just want everyone to know that we do have the application up in the build.defykingdoms.com site. So if you are a creator of fan art, DFK related music, lore, stories, content creator around YouTube videos, podcasts, we want to get you featured in the artist, and we actually have a few applications that have already been submitted before we even created this category. So I've moved them over into this artist application category. Just to name a few that are already in there that you could go check out. Fan art by 256-Bit, Candor Gander, DFK at Midnight, DFK Today, Bogside Chats. So really looking to bring their whatever their creative piece is into the game and let you all see that. So looking forward to that. In the archivist, you're going to see a few new people pop up here really soon. DFK Analytics is on that list. We're just about ready to get them there. Leela's Ledger as well. And then we're taking just another little addition that we're going to put with the Jester. So it's not just going to be games that use, our assets or NFTs. But also, it seems to make sense to bring in folks that are really reinforcing gaming, or bringing in gaming services, wanting to help, create onboarding for our game. So one in particular that you'll see is called Level. That's really close. They're reinforcing gameplay in our game. There's also a couple others that we're in talks with that you'll see popping up that are really finding creative ways to move like Web 2 gamers into Web 3 and really see us as one of those main Web 3 games that needs to be highlighted. Lots of like educating about the game that they get reinforced for through their system. So some really exciting pieces happening on the build.defykingdoms.com site. So if you've got some stuff you want to share, get on there and let's get you featured.
Fantastic. Excited to see the progress on that side continue. Apparently, Risen has a surprise update for us, so we're gonna cut to him real quick.
Sorry, I skipped the planning meeting, but I just decided to join you guys because it looked like fun. So I did want to let everybody know that we have confirmed that we are going to go and be in Decentral Miami at the end of November for an event. They graciously invited us because they loved our display and how excited everybody got, and of course the merch and things like that. But the real exciting part is that I just got confirmation about a minute ago that they're giving us an additional 25 tickets to give away to the community. So look shortly. I should have something out on social media a little bit later today, probably involving following Decentral or something along that line. But just like every other event, there's no better feeling than having like our people walking around with merch and our fans and our community getting to meet you guys in person. So if you're in Florida or can make it to Florida at the end of November, please enter to try and get one of those tickets. And yeah, that was it.
I would say that was a pretty decent update. I'll give it to you. So next we are going to Sam.
Everyone, it's been a while since I've been up on this stage, so it's nice to be back and chatting to all of you here. So as you know, Dark Summoning is just across the horizon, hopefully coming out next week, which is super exciting. And with each new zone comes a new music track. So, with this one, the clue's in the name, Dark Summoning, the track's going to be super dark, which really brings a whole new tone to Crystal Vale. So super excited to have you guys all hear it. So I believe Dragon Tea is going to drop a teaser in the voiceless chat, just to wet your toes a bit, in some red goo. So we'll take maybe 30 seconds to take a listen to all of this, and I'll pass back over to Hubert for some super cool alpha.
Fantastic. And that is now in the chat, which we will give people a second to listen to that. So we'll just pause and I'll stop talking for a second. All right, that's probably long enough. So hopefully everybody got a chance to listen to that. It is pinned in the AMA Voiceless chat. It's also live on our YouTube channel, so easy to reference. I'm really excited for that, Sam. I think that's a phenomenal track. I really, really enjoy that music. So kudos as always. You are the bomb. And with that, we'll go to Hubert for some other informations.
Alrighty, it's time. Well, I guess first off, I'm glad to be back. Sorry I was away for the last couple of weeks, but the rest of the team, like, we're working really hard, and I'm really excited for what we have with Dark Summoning now. As you saw, there's kind of a preview of the zone and the music. It's probably, in my opinion, the best zone that we've designed up to this point. It really, everything fits together: the sound effects, the music, the visuals, and then the what you're actually doing in that zone too. It all just fits so perfectly. So really excited for that. As far as some alpha about it, I'm basically planning to just say the overall details of all the main points of what's different with Dark Summoning right now. So there have been, in the past, we've mentioned that you'll be able to Dark Summon with heroes that have 0 summons left. So that's still the case. What you'll end up with is a hero that also has 0 summons left when that happens. But you can do that. And we're also, in terms of like the pricing with the Dark Summoning, it's you can expect it to be about 1/4 of the price of what you do with summoning. Just kind of offset the cost with the heroes that are going into it. So there's that as well. We are going to be reducing the restrictions that you have, like with summoning. There's restrictions on which heroes can summon with which. All of those things will be removed, with the exception of Gen Zeros are not allowed to Dark Summon. But other restrictions, including even summoning cooldown timers, are ignored for Dark Summoning. And yeah, so getting in kind of the new stuff. The first thing is that we will have a kind of level carryover system. So if you Dark Summon with 2 level 5 heroes, what you'll be able to do is level up the new hero up to level 5 without any experience requirements. So that will make it a little bit easier to get your hero up and going really quickly if you summon with higher level heroes. And another thing is the rarity chances of getting various rarities is increased. It's the baseline is akin to what we did during the birthday event back, if you remember the kind of the chances there. That's kind of the baseline, but then there's more to it beyond that. If the heroes that you're using as sacrifices have any remaining summons, you can kind of overcharge the chances. It's a little bit of an additional fee, but that will increase your chances of getting a mythic or legendary and everything else if you were to do that. We also are going to floor the rarity, if that makes sense. Basically, if you use 2 rare heroes as your sacrifices, you're guaranteed that the hero you're going to get is at least rare. It doesn't necessarily increase the chances of getting legendary or mythic, but you won't get a common or uncommon. So there is that. And also I guess the last kind of piece to it is, I guess there's a couple things. The UI is going to be updated quite a bit. One of the big things there is we're going to be including the chances of different rarities just on the UI right there. So it'll be very clear what you can expect as far as your chances. And let's see, shiny bonuses also are going to be about 5 times higher likelihood of getting shiny versus this normal summoning. So there's that kind of small little thing. And let's see, I guess lastly, just to make sure everyone's clear, as far as like how the genetics work, it's still going to use the exact same system as summoning does. So the chances for mutations are the same, the way genes mix around is the same. So it's still possible that you're going to have a recessive gene pop in and be the result there. So that part doesn't change. But yeah, so I mean, all kind of big pieces there. That's an overview. I think the details. That'll be coming when we have it released, and you'll be able to see it in the UI, so you can see all the rarity chances and whatnot. But that does kind of cover, I think, everything that's different about Dark Summoning. And I'm really excited to see what comes from it. So
One clarification real quick, Hubert, if you don't mind, on the rarity flooring. So if you summon with 2 rares, you're guaranteed a rare or better. What if they are not the same rarity?
Oh, right. Yeah, I should have mentioned. So it's going to be an average of the 2 rarities. So like if it's a common and a rare, then you'd get an uncommon floor. And it's rounded down as well. So a common and a legendary would also result in an uncommon floor. So that's how that works.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. You had plenty of information to go over there, so I'm happy to be here to ask small tidbits. Let's see. Oh, actually, you know what? That's a good question from Zipper. If the class mutates up, do you still get 1 minimum summon?
Yeah, that is one. I guess that's maybe the one difference that's perhaps, I guess, a negative is that no, it won't work that way. It'll be 0. With Dark Summoning, you'll still have that option to be able to summon with that hero. You can still use it that way, but of course you'd have to sacrifice it in that case.
So any dark summoned hero will have 0 summons, correct?
Well, so it'll still follow the same rules as summoning. So if the heroes that were used both have like 5 summons left, then the new hero would have 4. But if either of them had 1 or 0, then that means the new hero is going to have 0.
Makes sense. Much appreciated. Well, that is super exciting, and chat is going wild. So they're very excited as well. I know we're all very much looking forward to this, and I'm really, really excited for when people see the zone and just get to experience the entirety of Dark Summoning as a flow, because it really is just beautiful. I think everything just flows so well, and that zone is so nicely put together. Let's see. Does anybody have any other updates they wanted to give before we move into some questions? I'm gonna take that as a no. Well, Hubert, we're gonna knock out a few questions that we've been holding for you. Uh, so we had a couple mechanics questions over the last couple weeks that we held off on. The first one is one that you actually answered on the talk site as well, but I think it would be good to answer it live. So training quests the current training quests become unavailable when the associated stat breaks 50. And so the question was about running a suppression on that to allow that hero to still run the quest, but only getting credit for 50 skill points.
Yeah, and I think I did have a response on that, but just to say it out loud, the intent with that, I guess there's kind of twofold. First off, the training quests were designed in a way to have more of a obvious progression in success rate with like lesser level gain, whereas like with fishing or foraging, it takes a little bit of time to notice how different how much better it is, because those were designed to go from level 1 to 100, whereas this was let's focus down on a smaller subset of stats and kind of have a faster progression there. So that was part of the intent. The other part, I guess kind of along with that, it does somewhat necessitate where you'd want it to no longer give out too much, because otherwise it kind of breaks the mechanics a bit, and you have too much inflation of certain things. The other piece there was the idea that there would be higher level training quests. That has been in the plan all along, and so once you get past that stat level, eventually there would then be another quest that you could move on to if you wanted to. And the last piece to the suppression there is leaderboards, which we had initially planned, and at this point we may be revisiting a few of the aspects of that. The initial plan with that was that if you got specific patterns like win, lose, win, lose, win, there could potentially be something in the leaderboard that people had that happen the most times, kind of thing. That was originally what we were thinking. At this point, a few things have changed, and like I said, might revisit a few of the, I guess, base assumptions that we were using in the design. But in general, if your hero does go above that stat threshold, it's always possible to just go with their second stat for now. You can do their training quest on their second highest. So that is an option. And yeah, I think, did that answer everything, Bolin, on that?
Yes, sir. I believe it did. I do appreciate that. And we've got another question for you. It's a win. When can we expect a use for other in-game quest items? Obviously, the big one right now being stamina potions, but outside of that.
Yeah, so I mean, all at this point, all those items, anything that goes into the potions, at least, they are intended to be most useful once combat's out. And so I think once we have PvP and PvE going, you can see a lot more activity going on there, is my expectation. With the 2 new tokens that were added with Crystal Veil, fishing and foraging quests, those I do have a planned system to use those with, but it will be a bit of a time before that is going to be implemented. We still are going to be focusing on getting Sarandale up and running on Clayton, and have some other things as well that I think are a higher priority. So it's coming. It'll be a little bit, but it's not forgotten. So
Awesome. And I have another question for you, but it actually kind of ties into whatever. Anyway, it's about crafting. Will crafting work in groups of 6 like profession quests do?
yeah, so with that, the original thing I was thinking is that it'd be an individual hero basis for crafting, though that is an interesting idea, and considering our system and how many heroes people have, I might revisit that and think about what we could do as like group crafting. But for now, at least, our baseline plan with crafting has been it would be on an individual hero basis. But I do like that idea a lot. So
Awesome. All right. This one is, I think, probably more Beetle Dude, but Hubert, you might get to chime in again still. We're just gonna make you talk a lot today. So a indicator on Gen 0 1 through 19 descendants after they get re-rolled. So after the tainted genes get re-rolled, will there be an indicator to show that they are now clean?
So actually, I think the opposite of that would be better, and something I think we could do. We'll have to take a quick look at a few things, but in general, I think if there's a hero that's tainted, we should have a badge or some indicator that will let you know that it has a bad gene somewhere. And I think that's more important, so then people can make decisions, when they're buying heroes and whatnot. And then once the reroll happens, then that would be removed. So then it would be just like any other hero.
Awesome. Beetle, I'd seen you unmute. Did you have any thoughts you wanted to add to that, or?
Nah, I was just gonna make Hubert do it. I know he had opinions about it, so perfect.
Right. Let's see. So this one is a question probably best for Dreamer, about a DFK chain on and off ramp. We had mentioned before that we were investigating off ramps. Just asking about any updates on that front.
Yeah. So as it relates to both on and off ramps, a lot of those services rely heavily on regulation wherever they are trying to service. We had, and I think still have, linked to one of those on, but really their ability to provide off ramp services is contingent on their progress, both in what their priorities are and with regulation. So we considering new options as on and off ramps. We haven't recently been focused on bringing more in, and don't have all the updates across the protocols on who is furthest along with off ramps specifically in the US. I think there are some that are offering off ramps outside of the US, but I may not have the most updated information there. So sorry if I'm misrepresenting any of the on off ramp services out there, but that's the best way we can answer that question now. But we can kind of earmark it to get some updates with some of those that we've talked to in the past and bring it back in future weeks.
Awesome. That does actually take care of our questions, and it gets us caught up on the mechanics questions from the last couple weeks, as well as take care of the questions from this past week that have been submitted. I do want to remind everyone, while I have a moment, that we have announced the new power token that will be in the new Sarandel realm, which is Jade. I think you all know that. However, I do want to remind everybody, don't try to buy Jade. We will announce when our contract is available. If you see a Jade contract in the meantime, it is not real, and you should not buy it because it is either a scam or it is a Jade that isn't our Jade. So if you want to buy a Jade that's not our Jade, at least know what you are buying. But if you think that it is DFK Jade, it is not until we have released our contract. So just keep that in mind. I am sure there will be some fakes floating around. There always are. So be cautious and be wary. And if you're ever not sure, please ask before you purchase. Other than that, does anybody have any updates or anything they wanted to give before we go around for closing thoughts? All right. Well, then I'm just going to start picking on people. Sam, any closing thoughts for us?
I have 0 closing thoughts.
Fair enough. I really just wanted to hear your voice one more time. Sunbear, closing thoughts? Oh, Dreamer?
I was just going to say, I feel like we should all just write down our closing thoughts and have Sam read it for us in every AMA.
I agree. I agree. Sunbear, closing thoughts, unless you want to send them to Sam real quick.
I'm just enjoying summoning. I'm enjoying duels. I'm sure you all are as well, and looking forward to being able to be entered in to earn some Gen Zeros by doing summoning right now. So, yep, that's all I've got.
Fantastic. I actually am going to throw one last question at Hubert real quick because I saw it come up in chat, and it is a good question. Can you use crystals during dark summoning?
Let's see. I think probably enhancement stones was maybe what was meant there, but yes, you can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I had a 50-50 chance at the right word, and I picked the wrong one. Well, let's go back to Hubert for your closing thoughts.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't have too much. Like I said before, I'm happy to be back, and I'm excited for dark summoning and just kind of in general, like seeing how we've had to cut back a little bit on our team members a little bit, but even with that, I think those that are here, we have a really good flow going, and I'm really liking to see how well we're progressing and working well together. So I'm really excited for the future. I think I have a renewed energy that I haven't had in a long time. So I'm really happy and looking forward for the future, and I guess bullish, I'll say. So
Fantastic. Beetle Dude?
Awesome. Yeah, same on my end. Really excited for mostly excited to be out of the Crystal Veil parody shadow and be working on some new features. This is really exciting. Dark summoning in particular is awesome. I'm excited to be using it soon. It's just kind of like a great microcosm of all the different teams coming together and building something super awesome with art and music and mechanics and front end, back end, API, contracts, everything all at once. So think it really speaks to the strength of the team in general that we're getting such a cool feature out. So, and I guess a shout out to tokenomics as well. That we have a great tokenomics committee who thinks through all these items and makes the features even better than they started. So, props to the team. Excited for new features to be coming. For me, bullish.
Way to catch yourself at the end there. All right, and with that, we'll have Dreamer take us home.
Cool. Thanks everybody for joining. Thank you for all the comments. Really excited about the alpha drops, both the music, showing us the zone again, and everything that we got from Hubert. We really appreciate what everybody brings to the table. The team has a lot of different talents and personalities and work styles, and I just want to echo the comments of over time we're just getting better and better at working together. Even this week, we had another tokenomics committee. We talked about some pretty juicy topics, and one of the last ones was, all right, excited for dark summoning. Any like last suggestions or comments? And we did identify a few things to enhance and improve the overall deliverable. Whenever we get that close to launch, we want to be really cautious about changes. But even then, we're dedicated to deliver the best that we can within our abilities, and spent some time at adding some updates that have made this even more awesome. So from the art side, from the music side, from the front end, back end development side, Solidity side, it just feels like everybody has a very strong personal desire to help contribute to the most beautiful, epic, and long-term focused game platform, Web3 metaverse that we can. So it feels really good to be a part of that team. We all have different roles. I really feel like my role is to continue to try to make sure we have the funding, the stability, the organization and structure to have all of these very talented, exciting people on the team, and all the other teams we're collaborating with and those in the community to just be empowered to have the creative juices flow, to be elevated. And I feel like every day we're having more and more of that. So hats off to the support from the community. It's been a long road, and this as we get out of summer, so to speak. Really happy to have the stability and the success on DFK chain. Really excited about Sarandale relaunch, and really grateful for all those that have already started to welcome us into that ecosystem, and those in the community that will be welcoming others into our community. Just wanted to, for any that missed it, just wanted to repeat what Risen hopped in and shared with us. 25 tickets to Decentral in Miami. There might be those that are further and aren't looking to travel, but for those that can make it, I really hope that we use up all those tickets and can meet some people in person, and maybe even have you sit with us a little bit at the booth and help out. But yeah, excited about that. Really good work. Risen is working hard, not only on kind of the digital fun events on the community side, but making some good partnerships and business relationships along with myself and Sunbear to make things like this possible. So it's now like our anniversary of returning to a Decentral event, and the fact that they want us there so, I don't want to say badly, sincerely, and are helping us with many things, like giving us a bunch of free tickets and with everything as it relates to speaker spots and booths. Really excited and grateful for the work that's gone into it, and those out in the industry that recognize us as a ongoing force that is here for the long haul, that is building in the bull and bear market, and wanting to continue to show up for all of the partners that believe in us. For all the cool alpha that Hubert dropped, for those that maybe either didn't write it down fast enough or are better like visual learners, I think there is going to be some efforts to put that in some form of like a Medium article to recap. I don't know how quickly we'll get that out, but hopefully before summoning goes live. So maybe don't expect it today, but we are going to make sure that we can recap as much of that as possible and make sure people are educated, not only on the risk of burning your euro. It's not a % chance of it going like Perilous Journey, it's burned, but all the benefits. with specific focus on my brain on that rarity floor, which is really, really exciting and interesting. So excited for Dark Summoning. Just a reminder, there is an ongoing summoning event. I think Sunbear already hinted to, that is going to be rewarding Gen Zeros of the new classes for the Serendale relaunch. That is happening in Christabel. But just an additional reminder that there will be additional events or rewards related to Serendale summoning as well. So it would be a completely different event. And we're looking into releasing more details on how dark summoning plays into all of this as well. So we have a fair amount of Gen Zeros to allocate, and we want to do it as a reward for gameplay and other interesting ways. So we're going to continue to trickle that information out. We should expect probably around half to be awarded at or around launch. The other area there is the Jeweler 2.0 relaunch. We'll have some incentives, but then the remaining about half will be more of a strategy for months to come after launch. So rather than all of them at once, I think we'll have a good chunk and use also a good chunk to incentivize the adoption and ramp up of Serendale relaunch 2.0. I don't know what we're saying now. But yeah, really excited. Thank you everybody for all the comments. And I will end, even though we've already had 2 premature bullishes, I will end with a third bullish to cap it off. So bullish.
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 Bullish.